You can see a little mud down in front of these guys. What do you think of the weather, how it's going to affect things?
Well, it was already hard enough. It just got harder because that hard-packed stuff is going to be like ice this Moto.
Here we go, folks. Moto 2 live on NBC.
Here we go.
Start is so critical when it's muddy. It looks like Justin Brayton in the KTM. No! Brayton goes wide in turn 1, and he's going to give the lead up. One of the Suzuki riders out front, and it is Chad Reed. You're right, Ricky. Bad news.
He wants that championship. He knows there is a chance today to lock it up. But look at who got by him there. Tedesco getting by him.
Tedesco's going to lead them across the finish line here on lap 1. Millsap's your first Moto winner up there as well. And vision is going to be so critical. These guys are going to be eating a lot of mud, and that's why Reed doesn't want to be stuck behind Tedesco. Let's see what he can do.
Absolutely. I mean, start is a premium in these kind of conditions when it's wet. You know, it's not too bad sometimes riding in the mud, but as you guys can see now, it's raining, and that just makes it even worse.
And you can see Tedesco with the, this is not flag football, okay? That's just in case we have a problem. He can use one of those rags right there to wipe off his hands so he can get a good grip on the handlebars. So he's already prepared for bad conditions.
So Tedesco, who's out of New Mexico, so not a mud specialist, but getting the job done right now.
Here comes the rain. You can see it. It's coming down hard. So those little rags right there from Tedesco, should he have a problem, a little slide out or something, he is prepared in advance for conditions that are starting to look like what he anticipated.
Absolutely. Track builders did a good job there. I know Mark Barnett and crew, they did a good job flattening the track in case it would rain. It would kind of roll off. You could see the start back earlier, it wasn't as plowed up. So that was good. And actually, I think the start worked out a little better without it being plowed up.
Yeah, there's so many riders that crashed in the first Moto. It was all deep like that. But yeah, they're anticipating it as well. You can see they've dressed up this corner a little bit. See the fresh dozer marks. So the riders get a pretty good fresh track here in these early laps, but because this soil here in Maryland is so loamy, within a few laps, these ruts are going to be there again.
Reed in second, challenged by Tommy Hahn on the green bike in third. Here's what Chad Reed needs to do to clinch the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. He must have a 100-point lead over Andrew Short. Now, he added 11 points to his gap over Short in Moto 1, so he needs to add 10 more in this one. He has a 90-point lead. He needs to have 100 by the time this race is over. What that basically means, folks, if Reed wins the Moto, Short needs to finish 6th or worse, and Reed will win the championship. Right now, Short is way back in 15th at the end of lap 1. He's really going to have to work.
I'll tell you, it's raining right now, but they've done such a good. This track is going to be perfect. Like where David was talking about earlier, where the dozer marks, like the second lap, a nice crew gets in there. It's going to be primo, and since they've already started the race, it's going to be, you kind of, you know, you adapt to the rain and the track changes as it's raining. So it's not going to seem too bad for these guys. Who it's going to seem bad for is the guys after this. But it looks like Tedesco's kind of checking out here. But as long as Reed gets ahead of Short, I think that's the only thing he cares about. Obviously, he wants to win, but he wants to get that title, too.
Well, the man Reed has to worry about for winning today's race is Millsaps, who is in 4th. There's an overall. We take 2 motos, combine the scores from each. Millsaps won the first moto. There's the Honda guy just in the back of the screen on the red bike in 4th. So Millsaps needs to get up there and challenge Reed to try to win the overall. So Reed's got a lot on his mind right now. The overall series championship, the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross title, the Monster Energy drink Triple Crown, which is the series within a series, and trying to win today's race. Here's Millsaps, a real strong run in Moto number 1. And David, I know both of us, we were impressed. He was able to rally late when Reed caught him, and it shows that he wants to win today.
Yeah, that was a great dig that he had there, because Chad Reed just came out of nowhere, really put the pressure on him for 3 laps at the end, and the crowd was getting into it. I mean, everything was in Chad Reed's favor, and Davey found the strength, the resolve to pull that one out. Here, he's going to be in Chad's position. He's got to come from behind, and as you can see the rain starting to fall, pretty much, you don't have to have a rider in front of you to mess up your vision. The mud off your own front tire will mess you up, so vision is going to be a problem here in the next few laps.
So Reed has a rider in front of him and a couple of fast ones behind him. How is the 22 going to put the strategy to work today? Will he just try to stay up in the mud, or will he challenge Tedesco for the lead? We're going to find out when we come back here live on NBC from Budds Creek. We got a great race, folks. Stay with us. The battle is on here live on NBC. Part of Ally, the Alliance of Action Sports. It's Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship Racing. Chad Reed on the yellow bike and the red gear, going after the man on the red bike and the blue gear, Ivan Tedesco. This is your battle for the lead. And in addition, the rain is coming down. The track is slick. It's muddy. Jason Wygant here with David Bailey, Ricky Carmichael in the booth, Jamie Bestwick, and Tiffany Simons down on the track. They are getting soaked. Same thing with Ivan Tedesco, but it probably doesn't feel too bad when you're in the lead, Ricky. I mean, this is a good run for Ivan.
Yeah, it is. And like I said, when the weather is like this, I mean, track position is a premium. You know, it's hard enough to ride in the mud, but when it's raining, your stuff's getting wet. I think the mud sticks to it even worse. So he's in a great position right now. And he rode good the first moto, too. I mean, he came from a long ways back, and, you know, I was really pumped for him to see how good he came back from, but Chad's got this one thing in mind, and that's to try to get by him and get as many points in between him and Chad Reed, or Andrew Short. Right, Short has now climbed to the number 5 spot, so Reed needs to get to the lead and then hope that Short has a problem, or Short will stave the championship celebration off. At least one more week. We'll be in Massachusetts, Southwick, Massachusetts. Next week, go to allysports.com for more information on next week's race. But this week, Tedesco out front, and I think it's raining even harder now, David.
Well, you can see the crowd is shrunk. These people have all, they're in the tunnels and under the trees, and you know, they're looking for cover. But out here in this race, I mean, for the next half hour, these guys have nowhere to hide. You can see the rain coming down right there. And Chad has made a commitment. He has decided, you know what, I don't care how much mud Tedesco throws at me. I'm going to stay right here and just try to force this guy into a mistake, make him nervous, force the issue, and try to get in front where he'll have that clear vision. But you only have so many of those little tearaways on your goggle lens that you can rip off for clean vision. You know, these guys are able to carry, I don't know, Ricky, probably about 20 or so of those things,
yeah,
and that's it.
Yeah, I think they have packs of 14 and packs of 21, and obviously the guys who aren't running roll-offs, guaranteed they have the 21 pack for sure. And that, you know, you want to Tedesco's always the guy that's using the less of them now, but I'm sure Reed's going to try to plan an attack here. He's obviously got Ivan in sight, but Ivan's keeping him in check, you know. Man, look at that.
Lighten up that left or that right-hand corner, going all the way to the left side, the outside. And now tripling up. They pulled a big distance over Hahn in third, Millsap's fourth. Short has climbed up to fifth. Let's see how Reed plays this. Now, what do these teams do to prepare for mud? Well, we're going to get a little insight with our Sports Clip Tech Tip with the Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha team and their team manager, Jeremy Albrecht. Let's check it out.
All right, here at Budds Creek, I have a tech tip for you. We're worried about the rain today. So we actually have a seat cover that we have extra material sewed onto the cover here. And what it does is when the seat gets muddy, there's actually grip so the rider can hold onto the seat. Also, we have hand guards to keep the mud off the hands. We have foam underneath the brake pedal here and anywhere else that we feel that mud would pack to try to keep the bike light and just to make sure the brake doesn't get stuck on. We have these little covers here to help with the foot pegs so they don't get stuck up in the mud rut and the ruts and stuff. And we also have solid discs, which actually what it does, there's usually holes in these. This is solid so that the mud doesn't get dragged through and wear the brake pads out. And then the next best thing here is the rubber boots so I don't get muddy and the guys on the team are having dry feet all day. So there you have it here at Budds Creek.
Okay, now we know the key to having a smile on your face as your team manager. Get under the mechanics area so the rain doesn't hit you from the top. Get the mud boots on so the mud doesn't get you from the bottom. And if you're Mike Osler there, you want your rider Chad Reed to get in the lead, and then you won't complain about it being muddy at all.
Hey, you hear that Mike Gosler scream, woo, when Chad comes by, and you know, I think what he's trying to do is just instill that, like, hey, this is fun, isn't it? And because if you're not having a good time out here, you just start worrying about it, man, the track's slippery, and I'm getting soaked, and I can't see good, and I've only got, you know, 10 more tearaways, and there's still 19 minutes to go, as you see on the top of your screen. That's the countdown until they get the 2-lap board. And you start worrying about stuff that you really shouldn't worry about. So Gosler right there trying to keep his rider stoked.
All right, Reed trying to rally here and get around Tedesco, but the veteran out of New Mexico not making it easy. Stay with us here live at NBC. We're just getting to the halfway point. Look at this battle for the lead in Moto 2. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship from Budds Creek. Chad Reed gets alongside Ivan Tedesco. and makes the pass. And Tedesco made a mistake at the beginning of that section, and that opened the door for Reed. And now Tedesco is going to learn what it's like to get blasted by all that roost that he was shoveling at Reed for the last 14 minutes.
Yeah, Reed was getting a little tired of it and really started to force the issue. He got so close to Tedesco that roost coming off the rear tire didn't even have a chance to come up in the air high enough to hit Chad. He just really put the pressure on. Tedesco felt it, made a little mistake. I was surprised the way it looked at him in the air over that jump. I mean, he seemed like he was paying a little bit too much attention to Chad and kind of let him have it. He should have focused on his own deal and raced him into that corner. He had